And welcome to our weekly podcast with Eastern Soccer coach Chad Bodnar. It's brought to you by Cheney Federal Credit Union, serving their members' financial needs since 1951. All right, Coach, 210 wins, 15 losses in 10 years at Walla Walla Community College, a very impressive record. What has been maybe the biggest change for you in coming from the two-year institution now to a four-year school?
You know, there's quite a few things I would say that we could sit and talk about for quite a while, but the level is obviously different. Trying to bring a culture here that we had already established at Walla Walla and just starting new and having kids and people around the program believe that, we're looking to build something big.
210 wins in 10 seasons at Walla Walla, 15 losses, as I said. You obviously are not accustomed to, having a losing season. Can you drill the winning mentality and the things maybe that you did at Walla Walla into this group in a short amount of time?
I think we can make progress in a short amount of time. I think obviously it's a process, and the seniors that are here, they don't have another year, so they obviously want to do the best that they can in the season that we have. And in no way are we going to look at it and say, hey, we're going to have a building year and just let those 9 seniors not try to have the best season that they can. So we're going to go in and we're going to compete every game and try to win every game that we obviously play. And at the end of the day, if we're playing for something at the end of the year, I think we've done a good job.
How have the fall practices gone for you so far? You've been in camp for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been good. The kids are working hard. They're doing what we've asked them to do, and they understand that we're building something, and it's a process, and it's not something that's going to change overnight. So we're grinding every day, and we had 4 double days straight in a row, and I know that was hard on some of their bodies, but I think just that work ethic and trying to push them over a little bit, the edge physically, so that we can get that mentality that we're going to have to grind through some results this year.
In soccer, do you have a spring season like they do with football or a summer season to where these athletes have gotten to know you a little bit?
Yeah, so we played, we had I think 4 or 5 dates. We went and played Boise State and Seattle University and Central Washington. So yeah, we got to train over the spring with the returning kids. Obviously, though, we added 14 new faces, and so we're a week and a half into camp now with a half of a group that's brand new and a half of a group that's kind of mixed between juniors and sophomores and seniors.
You inherited some players that came back, including Cassie Black, who's Eastern's all-time leading goal scorer. So you do have some experience coming back.
We do. There's Cassie and Jess and Kayla and Katie Cashman. There's quite a few girls that have been here and played and been a part of a lot of games at the Division I level, and that's a nice mix. And then can we add in some of the younger players that can we get them to gel with those older players that have been here? That's going to be the question. And then kind of finding where the pieces fit in terms of those players that have been here, and what's the best formation to play, where's the best to put each kid, and like I said, it's a process, so it'll take a little while.
Your system, I'm sure, is a little bit different than Coach AJ's system. So are you moving? Are players changing positions maybe who were here in the past and maybe they were midfielders, but you're thinking in your system they'll be better defenders, or vice versa?
Yeah, and we took the first 2 exhibition games that we had and put people where they were, at least the first one, and we've moved from our first one to the second one. We've changed shapes and moved people around, and that's why you play those games. I wanted to give everybody a chance to show me that they were here and that they should still be there, and there's obviously been some changes, and there'll be some more changes, and we had some meetings this morning talking to kids about playing in different spots. So absolutely, philosophy is different. I'm a very attack-oriented coach, and it's going to be hard for me to kind of sit back a little bit for a year until we get those kind of players in, but I still think there's enough here going forward, and there's definitely some quality with the kids that are here and with the kids that have come in.
New coach, new philosophy, new teammates. Is this going to be maybe a work in progress this year, to where you're getting better every week, to where maybe you'll be a top quality team maybe at the end of the season rather than at the start of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we got better from Thursday to Saturday with our first 2 exhibitions, and I think people that were there saw the huge difference in just a couple days of training and with our our mentality. But Absolutely. We're going to take every week, as it comes, and we're going to try to improve and try to win games. And I don't see, in the Big Sky why we can't compete in every game that we're in. And I think we got to make that jump to where instead of maybe we're losing 1-0 in overtime, maybe we're winning those games and get some of those kids to believe that they can do it, because I absolutely think we can. But yeah, at the end of the year, like I said, if we're playing for something when Montana comes here and that last game, home game, means something for us to play on, I think we're going to be, very happy, and I think we've done our job.
Obviously, with the record you had in Walla Walla, you didn't have to have a lot of patience. How difficult is it for you to have that patience this year, that this is a process?
It is, and it's different in life in general. My wife is used to coming home and being happy, and she knows I don't handle losing very well, and I don't think anybody that's good at anything ever does. So she said, are we gonna be happy when we come home this year? And I said, we're gonna, there's gonna be some days. So it's definitely gonna require some patience. And I know that every one of those kids right now is working their tail off and wanting to get better. And as long as we're working our tail off and wanting to get better, I think at the end of the day, you can never totally be unhappy. You can definitely not like to lose, but you can, as long as we're pushing and working, we can live with it and try to be there at the end of the year.
Exhibition matches last week against Gonzaga and Washington State. What did you learn about your team in those matches? We
learned we had to get a lot better, especially on Thursday. And we learned that we had some really young, we had half of a team that was starting that was new, and we learned that our legs were pretty heavy from training camp coming into it, and that those kids needed some time. But, Saturday we were extremely competitive, and I saw a passion in the kids that were playing that really inspired me as a coach, going, we can do all right with this group if they'll play that hard. And like I said, if everybody buys in, we can do some stuff this year,
Season starts for you on Friday in earnest at Fresno State, Sunday at Cal State Bakersfield. You've got a rough non-conference schedule. Yeah,
Fresno State did really well last year. Really good record, some returning quite a few players, and to travel down and play at their place is obviously going to be tough. But again, if we're in every game and have a chance at it, then we'll be happy. I think. I'd be happy coming back 1-1 or 2-0, but definitely wanting to get on that win mark, this weekend and start something.
Talk about some of your non-league games, some of your other matches that you have coming up.
We play Idaho in a non-league match just to add another match for us. We were a little low on match counts. We play Seattle University, who's a very good program. They won their conference last year. And then we go play Colorado State, and we play University of Hawaii at Montana in a tournament there. So not an easy preseason, but just like with the exhibitions, we want to go in and play good teams and know where we're at when we're going into conference.
When you were in Walla Walla, obviously you knew what Columbia Basin had, what Big Bend had, what Spokane had, et cetera, et cetera. It's your first year in the Big Sky, so are you familiar with some of the other teams in the league?
Somewhat, because we played some of those Big Sky teams with the junior college program. We'd play them at the beginning of the year every year to get our kids experience and play Division I schools, but not obviously not as in-depth as we need to be. We'll be working to get scouting reports and watching film and doing all that, but it's fresh and it's new and it's fun, because every trip that we go on, you're seeing new things and learning new things, and just have to prepare well, to give our kids a chance.
How difficult is it, or how different is it for you to prepare for the travel in the Big Sky, because it's not necessarily a bus league? You're not going to bus to northern Colorado or some of those places.
And the flight stuff has been, something that's been interesting to learn. A lot of these schools don't have airports that you're flying right into, so you're flying into LA and busing to here or there, and so that's definitely something that I've had to, kind of learn about and talk to different people to figure out what other programs are doing in terms of when they go places. But again, it's all new, and we'll get better at it as we go.
I'm sure the goal is to win a conference championship, but realistically, what would you be happy with short of that this season?
Well, we talk about what's success at the end of the day, and you're playing to win the conference championship, and I don't know that we're there yet, but I'm not going to say that we can't go compete and try to do the best we can. I think it'd be a bad move on our part to say, hey, we're not good enough to do this, because who knows what happens. I mean, it's sports, and funny things happen in sports. Now through the end of the soccer season, we'll be here with you just about every week, depending on travel schedules. So, Coach, we wish you good luck this weekend in California, and best of success throughout the year, and thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's head soccer coach Chad Bodnar, and our podcast here on GoEags.com, brought to you by Cheney Federal Credit Union.